Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Week 3, Night 2 of the HEC ANZ Premier League. My name's Diskin Kerr, and I'll be your play-by-play analyst tonight. But joining me on the other side, bringing you all the knowledge and in-game information you need, is the lovable Vandy.
Thanks, Disco. How are we feeling tonight? I'm pretty excited myself.
I'm chuffed. Like, tonight's game is just proven up to be astounding. We've already had a little bit of a schedule change, and I'm glad to say that one of the first games we'll be having tonight is Mindfreak Pro up against Twisted Vision. And tell you what, that's going to be an amazing game. Twisted Vision are the remnants of, I believe, the Outlaws from last season, Vandy, third place holders, up against Season 1 champions of Mindfreak.
That's right. I mean, even though we say that it's got the remnants of Outlaws who have placed third, it's a totally different roster. And we even saw them come up against Aztec last week with not the best results or not the best success. So let's see how they can fare against Mindfreak tonight. I'm really interested as well in terms of Mindfreak. We know that they've had a bit of that roster change in Penta leaving and then also now getting Madhex. And then they also did a lot of role swaps. So wanting to see the dust is settled. I mean, they played well last week. Let's see if they're still going to keep up that momentum.
Yeah, that's it. You know, they weren't able to, survive the apocalypse themselves with changing up some players. Also going on tonight, let's talk about what some of the teams are like. What are they fighting for? What's this league essentially all about? And, of course, the vying for those top 2 spots to go to LAN at the end of the season. But let's talk about the big prize pool. It's a big 40K with first place taking 16K for themselves, second place 8.5, and so forth. On screen, you should be able to see the prize pool division right now.
Some darn good money up for grabs there, Disco. And all you need to do is play some video games. And I think that's pretty good for an honest day's work. Yeah. Wouldn't you say so? I mean, I'd love to do that.
Well, it's not even just playing video games. It's playing video games incredibly well. And that's what the HEC ANZ Premier League is all about. Look, we need to give a big shout out to our season sponsor, McDonald's. Without them, a lot of this wouldn't be possible. And they're really helping grow the scene in terms of competitive and developmental play. So thank you very much, McDonald's, for coming on this season.
I'm pretty happy about it. I mean, one could say I'm loving it. Couldn't help myself. But Disco, in terms of, I guess, also if we bring it back to the match that we're going to see tonight, you already touched on this a little bit, how we've got the remnants of Outlaws, but we also do have Domi, who was previously a part of Aztec. And in newcomer Xylians, I mean, we've seen him be kind of like that free agent for a while, seen him a lot in terms of grinding that Hero League. It's one thing I think a lot of the players experience. You might be one of the best in Hero League, or you might have a higher rank, but then trying to translate that into a team environment can be a totally different story. And especially because you've got 4 other members and you all need to gel together, that's where teams can really struggle.
Yeah, and it's not even just talking about own team synergy. It's it's just that safety in Hero League. The opposition isn't communicating; they're not being made aware. But looking at team number 1 Mindfreak, they're really sitting there and they're looking at, look, if you're out of lane, we're going to communicate it. We're going to tell you that it's happening, and that's the scary thing: is the team synergy that can really come out from the opposition in these competitive matches. But here we are, Vandy. We're going to Sky Temple as game number 1, as it's a Mindfreak Pro up against Twisted Vision.
Oh, I'm ready for this one, Disco. Let's get straight into it. Sky Temple, haven't seen this for a while. Mindfreak, they're very, very confident in terms of playing this. We see them mimic a very similar playstyle to Fnatic of old, where really you just soak, get that level 10, force the boss, and then try to win off that. That's pretty much their go-to strategy for this map.
Yeah, you're talking about the objectives on this map. They're so important. Not only do they provide experience in destroying the structures, of course, destroying the structures is how you get to the enemy core. So it provides you experience, lane pressure, and just so much of advantage that getting that 10 early for the possibly the second phase of the temples is just so important for your team. And why not do it with a great advantage like your heroics?
Yeah, exactly right. The heroics give you such a great advantage in this game. And I think a lot of players as well, they really, especially when you play on the professional level, you really understand the value of that soak. Mindfreak, so much so that they're happy to let some early kills go, or maybe an objective here and there, as long as they can get that 10 first. They always play for that win condition. They're always going to try and play for that end game.
So, yeah, that's what they want. It's obviously get the advantage. So in the later stages, you have an easier game because the opponent just can't challenge you in any shape and form. But looking at the ban now coming out, Twisted Vision, they've actually gone for Joanna. I feel it's kind of a interesting first ban on this map, considering we see characters like Genji and even Gross being highly prioritized in that ban field.
Yeah, exactly right. Johanna, interesting one for me personally, just coming out as a first ban. It really just indicates that maybe going to be trying something a little bit cheese, something with a heavy auto attack. I really need to wait and see which direction they're going with this. I mean, Johanna, it's not going to telegraph much, but as I said, you're already worried about the blinds and perhaps the lockup. So if you did want to run something, say, like the ETC, can be very, very difficult to run if you got a Johanna to verse. The Blaze I like. It's a very, very safe first pick. Probably going to just be Ryu in that top lane. And he'll just be the soak. Really that immovable force up there.
Yeah, and Blaze just shuts down so much stuff. You know, if Twisted Vision is going for like some sort of cheese composition, you know, everyone will be able to get into the safety bunker that Blaze drops and really cancel out any big plays.
And here we go. Without further ado, it's Yrel right there, picked up. So we didn't really see, when Yrel was available for play, we didn't really see too many teams play her on the night. I believe it was Konya to first break the stream drought. Yep. And then apart from that, and I believe it was Bled to Pro maybe? Oh, sorry, no, not Bled to Pro. Twisted Vision that played her. Yeah. And then after that, we didn't really see much else. Yrel, I mean, Skimmy's been talking about her, and as have a couple of other community members, now that people have kind of gotten to understand her build, the way she works, and kind of her position in the team, they're actually really liking her as being that disruptor.
Yeah, you know, they really, particularly that she got patched as well, so her divine purpose is on a shorter cooldown, so she can be popping that more often, empowering her abilities. And a lot of people have been looking at her level 4 talent. I believe the one for Avenging Wrath that adds the armor, looking at even potential of can she be added to a dive composition. So she's still so fresh in the water. People aren't sure 100% how to play her. But yeah, her lockdown capability with that stun knockback, it's just huge. She's it's like a superpowered Muradin stun hammer.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to be hit by that either. Next up as well, we didn't really touch on that Rhaegar. He's really been coming back into the meta, into the swing of things, and really he used to be that go-to pick when you did have a couple of tanks with those high health pools. Yep. His ability to really just make those saves, to save someone in the team fight by landing the perfect Ancestral, could absolutely turn the tides into your favor. And yeah, he's just been sneaking up a little bit, I guess, as other supports and the meta's kind of changing. It's all about that high mobility and also about the tanks. So he's really just been coming back to swing things. Genji and Karazim, we've seen also the emergence of Karazim. If we talk about how the meta has shifted a little bit, and his ability to really just dive in there does really complements Genji to some extent.
Yeah, that's, you know, it supports Genji's efforts. You know, Genji has slowly been nerfed a little bit over time, getting a little bit weaker almost every patch, not every patch, but almost every one. But with the addition of character like Karazim that can follow up with him, give him a speed boost that can get him to those trickier shots, keep him healthed up, and even just pop, you know, a 7-sided strike if that's what we're going for, and really put extra pressure on the opponent that you just dived onto with Genji.
That is it. So pretty much you see all the tanks just trying to engage, and as you said, just try to get that killing blow, but then Karazim can pop that 7-sided strike. So it does have two, I guess, ways to work, similar to Genji's X-Strike, as you already touched on, Disco. It's really just that I need some help, it's my panic button, let's go. Or if you do want to get aggressive with it, I see a tank, she's isolated or he's isolated, let's go, and we can actually try and shred this target down. It's not so bad to focus down the tanks. This one here, this is definitely going to be a target ban, and that's for Xylians right there. He plays a mean Samuro. We saw him bust it out once, and ever since then, a lot of the teams that have been versing Twisted Vision have been banning it out.
Look, it's really refreshing. Like the meta has been always so constant in the ANZ region, meta bans, meta picks. That's great to see that we're starting to get some players now that can really, you know, bring it to the table on a strange one. Someone like Samoro over here, especially we see Cholgul's hopping up in our leagues a little bit more now as well, thanks to the efforts of Flays currently on Xylophone Dudes. But I just love where our region's heading towards it. But let's talk about where Twisted Vision are going with this draft. They've got Rhaegar, they got Yrel. I mean, they're still so open with what they could take here in terms of damage, in terms of actual tanks. Maiev and Muradin, what a dive composition. I'm going to love that with the addition of Yrel in the first round.
Very heavy dive, and that's exactly what I was thinking. But more so as well, the Johanna ban also now makes a lot more sense. That Maiev, we know that single-handedly, Johanna's blind can just stop her from landing the Umbral bind. So already now you can start to see that telegraph ban. They're already thinking about this composition, and it's really going to be all in on that team fight and isolating a pick. I assume with the Maiev as well, they're just going to pick something very, very bursty to really complement it, so that when they see someone isolated, it's going to be all about, let's bring them in with the bind and let's focus them down.
Yep. We talk about something bursty. We'd be looking at something potentially like Jaina. We've seen her picked up so much more this like the last couple of months. Do you think we might see Jaina as their final pick?
Could potentially, yeah. Jaina works quite nicely on Sky Temple. I was thinking, if not Jaina, maybe something like a Li Ming. I was thinking about a Gul'dan, but I think he'd just be too prone to the Genji. Because remember, you are going to have to contest with that dive coming your way, and also the Karazim Blaze. Hanzo is now being picked up. So his ability to race the boss on this map makes him quite a solid pickup. He's also very, very safe to play, so no surprises there. But the Anubarak, now that's one that's very, very interesting to me. And I'm wondering as well with the Anubarak, because does that mean that Blaze is just going to have to be the main tank, leaving Anubarak to perhaps go that Cocoon? I've seen like a lot more times with Locust being picked up for Anubaraks to give them more sustain, but I think the utility of Cocoon is going to be too good to pass up here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky sense in that regards. I mean, I guess they're looking for the mage, right? Twisted Vision, we think you're going to pick up the mage, gives the Anubarak the ability to sort of dive to the back line, drop the Cocoon, or he can go to the back line, drop the Cocoon, and then borrow out if it does get a bit too dicey for him. There is a lot of stun, a lot of CC on the side of Twisted Vision, though. So anytime anyone's kind of in the back line, it's going to be a little bit scary for him. I bet you Genji must be sweating a little bit under that helmet there.
Well, you were talking about may we see a Jaina being picked up. Suddenly now she's less attractive of a pick. In fact, I would like to see maybe the Li Ming come out for the Disintegrated as well as the Cocoon. But we're going to get none of that. We're going to get Coffee, Sergeant Hammer once again. So he busted that out last week. With, I guess, varying rates of success. They ended up losing that one, but I guess you could kind of see the composition and the strat that they were going for. Will the cheese pay off this time?
Well, that's it. Like maybe this is changing from cheese to a legitimate play now by Twisted Vision there, trying to force their way through this like a hammer. I really like it. I think they've got like a really good lineup here, Vandy, to protect the hammer, make these great plays. Obviously, Warden should be coming out for Maiev. That's going to make it that you can lock down the enemy team, giving Hammer such value as they're all crowded around trying to escape the cage. But I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what both these teams really bring onto this map, Sky Temple.
Mindfreak's draft is definitely more to something that I'm more used to seeing. But, I mean, Twisted Vision, they've got a plan. It's about whether they can execute it. And Mindfreak, they're one of the more experienced teams out there. Yes, they did have a play lead. Yes, this could be the best chance to try and get a win in terms of if you do want to try something cheesy, but they still have all of that experience and they've dealt with cheese before. So I feel like they'll definitely be already starting to read into this draft and they're going to be putting out a lot of pressure onto that hammer and they have the tools to do so.
That's it. All right, guys, just before we get underway, just another quick shout out to McDonald's, the HGC ANZ Premier League sponsor for this season. Thank you very much for supporting our great region. And we're just waiting for Sky Temple now. The excitement's building. This is a Mindfreak Pro who are currently undefeated in this league. They are 3 apiece, and I don't think they've dropped a map at all, Vandy, either.
Nope, not yet. So they're trying to do another run as their season in phase 1, where pretty much no games dropped until we saw them get to the finals.
Oh, that's it. And what a finals it was. But here we are now. We've loaded on Sky Temple. It's a Mindfreak in the stylish color of blue. We've got Fat 94 as a new wreck. John is playing, I believe there's Hanzo. We've got, they're all bunched up. I cannot see where they are. We've got Vanilla on Genji. New wreck being played by Fat 94. John and Hanzo, Aru on Blaze, and Mad Hacks on Karazim.
And on the red, we have Twisted Vision with Coffee playing Sergeant Hammer, Magic Gnome on Muradin, Gondo playing Rhaegar, Silence on Maiev, and Domi playing Yrel.
All right, they're underway, and already looking at 2 characters that are building back up in the meta. Obviously, Karazim, Yrel, and Hammer to that sense. Karazim has taken the Iron Fist talent.
It's pretty standard nowadays. Yep. I think that's the go-to talent that a lot of people prefer. You can really just get that DPS in, and that move speed's utility is too good to pass up. What I was interested in seeing as well was Hanzo picking up that simple geometry, indicating that he does want to build the scatter arrow. build, but that makes a lot more sense because you can constantly take the Merc camps on this. You can also clear out the temple points, but also, like I said, you threaten boss, and that can be a really, really big turning point on a map like this.
Yeah, the map could be so big, especially when the objective's up, that having something like a boss or even instead of mercenaries in another lane can be really stressful for the other team to try and deal with.
Exactly, because you are also playing PvE. All the damage on this is going to be no Abathur. It was instantly banned out by Mindfreak. They know that the mule, the value that it can achieve is going to be too much. So they wanted to make sure that any damage done by the objective is going to stay there. So you're destroying these structures, you're going to get the experience. They can't be repaired if they don't end up falling.
Yeah, that's it. And you don't want to be under that sort of high-pressure situation. But look at this, Mindfreak, they're looking for extra mercenary value right now. Twisted Vision did get the one on the top lane. They're trying to scare off Coffee a little bit, but there's a big fight going down over the Merc camps. Oh, we're going to see some amazing plays. No, Mindfreak Pro are backing out now. They don't want to lose anyone too early in the game. Vanilla's come in, looking for a target. Gnome doing a great job actually pressuring him. And there's both sides just back away.
It was a bit of an interesting fight as well. You can see Xylos trying to get that picks, but it's funny, when Maya first came out, everyone was finding Umbral Bind quite difficult to deal with. She's had a numerous amount of changes since then, and you can already see players, once bounded, they're just constantly trying to stay in the tether range so they don't get yanked the full distance. They're actually running towards Maiev. This is something that you can exploit as well if you are ready for Coffee in a lot of trouble here, and he's going to get picked up for free. Vanilla is low, but the bind doesn't manage to connect.
Oh, talk about picking up something. And a Coffee out of position gets punished. One of the downsides of the hammer, even though she does have a turbo boost, if it's off cooldown, she can be quite, she's not quite a mobile character without that boost. So obviously caught in a bad time, CC'd and taken out.
As you said, Disco, so much CC coming into Coffee's way and path that he couldn't even use the Q to get away. So just shows that if you overstay just for a millisecond, that's all it really took for Mindfreak to just jump in and dive in and get amongst it to get that kill.
Oh, and it's, it doesn't show off much right now. Both experiences pretty much the same for each team. Though Mindfreak have a slight advantage. Can they do something with this going forward into the game? We'll find out after these temple points. It looks like Mindfreak actually picking up both of them for the moment, but pressure onto Fat 94. He does manage to get the stun out onto Magic Gnome. Maiev looking to go in, does not go in just yet, backs away, hides behind the mines, wondering if someone might chase her. As each team just sort of pokes each other. Behind that bow, Blaze is getting free value in the top lane.
Blaze, he can just sit there and camp out. Coffee, every time he tries to siege, you can already see Mindfreak. They try to keep forcing him out. A lot of that front line is there, causing a lot of damage, but it took 5 members to take this temple.
Oh, just so much good front line deflection being done by Fat 94. And I guess they have such a range composition with Hanzo doing out his DPS. They don't have to, they don't have to overextend so much to get a lot of damage onto the enemy line.
Hanzo can give them so much vision as well, utilizing that arrow. But also Coffee, I was looking at the ambush as well, so he's constantly sieging up, getting out of it to get that bonus damage. So he hits extremely hard when he's exiting stealth. So that's something to watch for by going that bursty kind of build.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to work really well with Maya. Big fight going in the mid lane right now. Nothing transpiring just yet. Mindfreak Pro being the aggressors here, but backing out if they don't think they can secure a kill within 2 or 3 seconds. Very, very disciplined play there.
It's just short, sharp fights that they want. They have burst of their own, and they know that they don't want to stay too far down. But Genji falls, so that tag team between Gondo and Xylian is finally picking up a kill.
Oh, that is so a little bit detrimental, because this is going to mean the Merc camps now for Twisted Vision, the Mindfreak Pro Merc camps, mind you. So extra value in that sense, and they should propel them to level 10 as a slight lead against Mindfreak.
Well, also, it just means that Hammer can now just rain down in that bottom lane and take these structures for free uncontested while they have to wait for Vanilla's respawn. So as you said, that kill right there came at a perfect time for Twisted Vision. It gave them some momentum leading into this. They're now getting a little bit of that experience lead for themselves. But in the top lane, you can already see the bruises being escorted in by Ryu. So he's keeping up the pressure, making sure that they don't fall too far behind.
Yeah, look, that's a really nice play there. They should be able to actually pick up that fortification as well. That should help Mindfreak Pro, equalize the experience. And Rua's Blaze, he could just back out pretty well. There's not a lot the enemy team can do, Twisted Vision, unless they're all there to completely lock him down.
Twisted Vision as well, they're not afraid to get aggressive as we saw, but they also want to make sure they don't overextend. As we saw when Coffee was there and Mindfreak just sees that opportunity. So already just in that bottom lane, he's sensing it, saw the siege camps being picked up, expected them in the bottom lane, so he just backed away. And that's really good to see that they're keeping an eye on things, but really they need to also keep tabs on that Blaze.
Oh, look at this in the bottom lane. Mindfreak Pro getting a little bit of revenge now, starting to attack the towers and the wall. There's still a lot more value on the side for Twisted Vision because they can escape. They have like a back out point, but both sides still have their wells, so they can keep themselves pretty healthy going to this next objective.
Yeah, they have an escape route if things get hairy. And it's going to be Twisted Vision, the first to hit that all-important level 10. So they have a small window where Mindfreak are not yet 10.
Oh, then this is it. Can they catch someone else? Fat 94 in the right position to escape if things get dicey. Moves out, looking for it, goes in, doesn't connect right now. Doesn't really have the backup of his team, so he's hoping they'll come in. Mad Hacks on Karazim comes in. They've gone down. They found Hammer. They're going for their target. Pressure on the back line. Can they connect to it? Coffee gets taken out. Meanwhile, Maiev trying to get a big play in a bad spot. Nice stun comes out from Euro, keeping everyone locked in place. Magic Gnome looking bad for him. Might fall. Mindfreak Pro exceptionally healthy at the moment as they all stack up for those big Karazim heals. And look at that. 2 members down for Twisted Vision. And Mindfreak Pro, they're hungry. They wanted more. Chase for a little bit. Couldn't do it, Vandy. And a look at the value they're about to get.
Exactly right. This is what I mean. You get the kills, you make that boss play, and Temple is also in the bottom lane, so that's going to be huge value just acquired there for Mindfreak. Just took that one fight. You can see how well they executed Coffee's hammer right there. They just made sure that they focused. Look at how tanky the front line is. Look at how tanky and beefy it is. You can see on this replay, it's going to be Coffee the first draw. He does do a beautiful self-cleanse on himself, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, he's not able to get away and just taken out. Execute order 66 on Coffee. That's all I could say. And look at right now, we've got the boss in the bottom lane nicely taking out that fortification. Still needs to be dealt with, a little bit healthy at the moment. While Mindfreak Pro push into the mid lane, Domi is pushing him back, but he's taking a little bit of damage there from John.
That boss as well. It's finally on its last legs, but for their troubles, they get that entire fortification in the bot lane and just really pad their experience. So Mindfreak already starting to craft a bit of a lead for themselves, but Twisted Vision haven't fallen too far behind, and instead, for their troubles, they get John.
Oh, nice. It's going to be a little bit of a reckon save here. Genji X strikes out to save himself. Vanilla does manage to get out. Bunker drop, keeping him safe. But they did pick up a Hanzo in that engagement, and this is just giving Twisted Vision opportunities to get back in. I love it. They knew that Mindfreak Pro were doing the merit camps, great map awareness, and just being able to rotate to him and get Hanzo, who we said can be a pretty safe pick at times, Vandy, but not when you've got Maiev there locking you down.
Exactly right. He's very, very prone to dive, so that's exactly what they needed to get onto John. And as you said, the timing was impeccable to also not play passively. That's what we've seen a lot of teams really struggle with in ANZ, where they're like, oh, okay, we're behind, we don't want to take any risks. Sometimes you need to take risks to get back into the swing of things. You have to take those opportunities.
Yeah, that's it. But it didn't pay out for Mindfreak Pro, but paid out in dividends, huge dividends for Twisted Vision.
With that Merc camp as well, the bruises have been taken in the top lane by Ryu once again, and a lot of members by Twisted Vision just positioning here.
Oh, that's it. Looking at what's going to play now. They're looking for a big play, wanting to try and get Blaze out of sight, or even get him to pop his bunker early. That would be a great thing. But seeing down there.
And Magic Gnome just fighting it out. Magic Gnome did use a Dwarven Toss to go in, and he does get traded for quite low. Luckily, more members of Twisted Vision were there to bail him out.
Yeah, that's it. But look at Mindfreak. They're looking for an opportunity to catch someone in the retreat. Bat 94 hoping he could borrow onto someone. It doesn't quite do it. But look, they're both 13 now, so it's an equal sitting for both teams. I'm interested to see what sort of value they try and pull from this. Oh, Twisted Vision looking actually rotating to the bottom.
Yeah, Twisted Vision, they want nothing to do in terms of that top lane. So instead, they're happy to trade it and set up in that bottom lane.
Yeah, that's it. But look at that. I'll just say it's so funny. Like Mindfreak and Twisted Vision are both rotating down together besides Blaze. And it just sort of looks funny, the mirror image that's going on.
It's just a trade happening right here.
Yeah.
Neither team really just wanting to force anything. There's not really any advantage to be found just yet. But you can already see the one difference that Mindfreak have now with that top lane being unoccupied. The bruises were timed perfectly. So now they can take them and push with them.
Yeah, you know what? Twisted Vision deciding to give that up. I guess they went for, like you were saying, the trade play. If they were to challenge Mindfreak and die, because Blaze obviously still had access to his bunker, they would have lost extreme amounts of value. This way, they're still on the back foot, but they can still fight Vandy. They can still have some effect in this game.
You're going to see the knockback coming out from Coffee as he repositions himself, and Magic Gnome already popping the Avatar quite early into this fight.
Yeah, he doesn't want to risk anything, not with the full might of Mindfreak right there now, including Blaze. They're getting pressured out a little bit, but Mindfreak, they've done what they wanted to. They came, they saw, they conquered the wall, Vandy. They'll be back later.
One thing as well that I'd like to touch on is Xilence's build. He has gone completely into the fan of knives, so he gets rewarded every time he hits multiple targets, and you can see him spamming it there. So if he does get them clumped up like that, that's really going to be that dream. And Warden's Cage will really just allow him to achieve maximum damage output.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. You know, that's their play there to lock down the enemy team, have his Phantom Knives just constantly, you know, on repeat, cycle, and hammer, just throwing down the siege damage. Just a slaughter pit is what their plan is. But Mindfreak just played this game so well, you know, so surgical, cutting them apart, not needing their full roster. You know, literally Rue on the top lane on Blaze hasn't had to rock up to all the team fights.
And because now they have that talent advantage in the form of 16, you can really see Twisted Vision. They wanted to back away and make sure that they get 16 first before they try to even contest that camp over there. They were like, we can clear the camp, that's fine, but if we die here, that's going to be disastrous. Mindfreak, they're going to push and push hard. One thing as well, in terms of that trade that we saw before, that was because Mindfreak, Twisted Vision as well, they already had that weakened bot lane, so they wanted to continue that push.
Yep.
Look at how fast the boss goes. And just for checking like that, Magic Gnome immediately gets engaged on.
He's taking a lot of damage in Avatar form, but beside that, they changed to Coffee. Instant priority switch. Can we go for a Maiev? They're chasing now. They get Rhaegar in the cocoon, so he'll be next to fall on it. Gondo, we'll see you later, mate. Thanks for playing. Magic Gnome will be next to fall. It looks like cannot survive the onslaught that's coming out from this team now. This is sickening to watch, Vandy.
It was just that one mistake right there to check the boss, and that's it. That's what Mindfreak needed. John starting to engage with the Dragon's Arrow, bought them enough time.
Yeah.
They had enough burst, and that's really the thing, and why Karazin can be so strong as well. The 7-side strike came out, and you can really see Muradin's health just chunking on down.
Yeah, you know that Avatar form does nothing for him when the 7-side strike comes
Actually
out.
helps Karazin.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, cutting out those numbers, boys and girls. And here we are. The core falls in favor of Mindfreak, taking out game number 1. Basically giving them the almost, you know, one more map and they'll win this series, Vandy.
That's it. I mean, it was very, very close in terms of that tug of war. So we saw a back and forth, but really it was just that one team fight right there. It just took the scouting mission to go horribly wrong, and Mindfreak, they were just able to end the game with an explosive finish. I mean, it's 4th of July, I'm pretty sure, for everyone in America, so there's the fireworks. Fireworks
from Hanzo. I mean, just saw like the reflex as well. Just the team, they were in an all right position to disengage, right? They checked, they're doing boss, they backed out. But Hanzo instantly, you know, the Dragon Arrow comes out, gets the stun, and Mindfreak just so disciplined, so well-oiled as a team, just follow up instantly and, you know, respected the Muradin and knew they couldn't force it. When he ran away, they just went, this is an opportunity now to engage onto Hammer and just remove Coffee from any other conflict.
That's all they needed, and that's all they wrote, Disco, for now at least. So there'll be another game coming right up. We're just going to take a short break.